is a huge milestone for you all. Anxiety and overthinking, huge opportunity to learn a new way of being, and to break those ancestral ties. Before we get started today, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that this is a difficult and dark time in the world for many of us right now, and I am coming into all of these readings with that understanding and awareness, and nothing that is shared here is intended to mitigate whatever else might be going on in your life at the moment. I see tarot as a way to empower oneself to be able to see things more clearly and know exactly where to take action when maybe the next best step isn't so clear. So with that, we will get into our readings for this month. Thank you. Aries, welcome to your March reading. Let's see what we have in store. As always, we'll be using our classic Mystic Compass spread, starting here at the north. This card will represent the area of your life that has to do with housing, finances, career, etc. And then we've got an action item to follow. Over here to the east, we've got our thoughts, mindset, focus, dreams, as well as an action item to complement. Down here at the south, we've got our passions, our belief systems, anything that gets us really fired up, that gets us going, and our motivation, as well as a corresponding action item. Over here to the west, we've got our feelings and emotions, anything that is touching us in a deep emotional way, as well as an action item that corresponds. Finally, we've got one card in the center to tie everything together to show us what exactly we are looking at as the main point of the reading of this month and how everything is interconnected. Starting at the north, we have the Magician. So again, this position is your housing, finances, etc., and career. And with this Magician placement, this is a huge milestone for you all. This is an opportunity to create some magic, or to recognize the magic that's already happening all around you. This is really fantastic. This is showing us that there are people along your path that want to help you, that have a skill set that you covet. It could be that maybe you've been looking for a job or a house or an apartment, and suddenly you meet someone who has that exact perfect fit job ready for you. It could be that someone or that housing situation, but you're looking at the magic. We're still very much in the beginning of our Fool's journey when we reach the Magician. The Magician is the first person in the Fool's journey that the Fool meets, and who gives the Fool all of the necessary tools that they will need on their journey. So you're still in, not only is there magic, this might be an introduction to magic, and the divine and the impossible for you. And this is there are people that you will meet, maybe just one person, in the near future this month, that is able to really show you something brand new that you didn't know before. So maybe it's a skill, or maybe it's just putting you in the right space with the right people. But there's so much opportunity and possibility here, and there's a long road ahead, but this is a huge boon to your start, and you don't have to do it alone. There are magical beings that are waiting for you, that have been waiting to meet you on the journey. So that's a really beautiful message. Your action item, wow, is the Sun. This is huge. Paired with the Magician, these are two major arcana cards, and so with this Sun popping out, this is asking you to really dive into a project that you've already been working on or thinking about. So maybe you haven't started the project yet. This is doubling down on that magician energy. There is nothing but positive vibes, positive omens for you, Aries, this month. So please get it together. And this is around the scope of housing, finances, career. So if you have been thinking about applying for jobs, this is a great time to do that. If you have interviews coming up, this is a great omen. Obviously, prepare, do the needful, and get yourself organized and study and prepare for the interview. You don't just wing it, but this is a good sign that this is something that has taken time, that you're working towards, and you are nearly at the end of the road on this. It could be that you've been saving up to buy a home, and now is the time where you're going to find that perfect home. It could be that you have been trying to figure out where to move. Some of you are wanting to move quite a distance, either to another city, another state, another country, and this is indicating that this is a great time for that. Maybe there is just like one piece of that move that hasn't been super clear for you yet, but it is becoming clear. I can see that here now. This is a great time for you in this realm, Aries. Moving over to the east, we've got our air element, and we're starting this out with Page of Wands. So with this Page of Wands, we are on a journey of and looking for folks that can help us on that journey, similar to the magician, but maybe not as prominent. This might be someone that maybe you meet, you go into a doctor's office and the receptionist is just extra helpful and has extra information for you, or is able to share with you how to optimize the billing for your medical appointment, something like that. But these are things that you're thinking about. So this is less tangible, but this is something more that's operating in your mind or in your dreams and your focus. And you can be thinking about where it is that you're going, but also think about not only the people that are there to help you, but how you can help other people. This is an invitation to, yes, stay the course. Obviously, I am not asking you to distract yourself or detract from the course that's in play already, but there are times where you need help or can use help, and there are other times where you can be of help to others. And this is just asking you to look for those opportunities, because there are other people, you yourself have come a far way, and there are other people that are further behind on their journeys and haven't experienced as much as you have, Aries. And this is your opportunity to lead others. So let's see what your action item is over here. So very similar, a continuation of what I've just said. We've got our 5 of Cups. So there are times where you make a mistake, and there are times where others around you make a mistake, and how you respond in that situation is of crucial importance. So first of all, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, and no one is exempt from making any errors in their entire life. So how do you respond to that? It could be some of you have employees under you that report to you, direct reports. It could be that some of you are working with vendors and you have to carry on vendor relationships. It could be that some of you are the vendor for a client, for example. And so there will always be this sort of give and take around us in the universe of actions. We're constantly in motion. The planet Earth is constantly revolving, right? And humans, we're constantly breathing. So we're constantly in motion. Even when we're laying still or sitting still, we're still spinning around on the planet and we're still breathing. And so that is part of that continued movement. In that movement, there are disruptions. So in some cases, there will be an error or a mistake or a misunderstanding. And whenever that comes to be, I am asking you to change your mindset around the purpose of that error. So it could be that that error sets you on a trajectory for something else. For example, let's say you are working for a big company and you are a vendor to another company. You are providing a service to another company. And let's say you make a mistake and the company, the client, fires you as the vendor. Perhaps there's another client just around the corner that needs your services, that will pay you more, double, triple, quadruple, or more than the original client, but you weren't able to sustain that business relationship with the new client because you were so focused on maintaining this client relationship with the old client. But you would have never known and taken a chance with this new client unless you were released from that contractual bond with the former client. That's one example. On the reverse, let's say that you are a director of a nonprofit and one of your employees makes a huge mistake with the budget, and perhaps several $100,000 or millions of dollars have now been miscalculated or have gone missing. How you respond to that employee and the whole situation at large will speak profoundly about yourself and about your values and your own mindset. So perhaps, yes, of course, that would be upsetting, but perhaps instead of yelling at the employee, yelling is not going to change anything about the situation, first of all. So why not approach it with a different outlook? This could be a huge learning opportunity for this employee. Maybe this employee needs to learn that there are supervisors and bosses out there in the world that can remain calm under pressure, even when the employee has screwed up and made a huge mistake. And recognizing the good that still exists amidst the bad. So it's all about calculating in your brain what value has the employee brought versus the magnitude of the error, or what value is this nonprofit providing to the world despite this error. It's not ignoring that the error has happened or that all of the money has gone missing. It's simply looking at it in a different way in order to respond differently and from a different mindset and a different sense of spirit. And then furthering that, how does that response reflect you as a professional, as a person, as a speck of dust floating around in the cosmos like the rest of us? Just food for thought. Let's see what's going on in the south for you all. Aries. So this is our positioning of the fire element, and that's our connection to source, the divine, the universe, etc. And here we're starting out with the 9 of Swords. This is very interesting because this is representing anxiety and overthinking and being paralyzed by thought. It can also be depression. And something to remember, if that is where you're at right now, something to remember is that you're not alone. There are other people that care about you, and creatures. Maybe you have pets. Your pets care about you. And this is asking you to not overthink. Maybe some of you, with this positioning here, I'm getting the sense that a lot of you are overthinking your passions. So maybe you've started down a certain career path because you were passionate about it, or you started with a certain hobby out of a passion, and now you're overthinking it. And instead of just letting it be, let it be a hobby, let it be something that you enjoy. You don't have to overthink it. Maybe your hobby is in conflict with your day job, and you're afraid that if anyone at work finds out about it, then you will be fired. It could be something like that. Worrying about this and having this sense of anxiety is not going to help anything. Let the people closest to you, who have your best interest at heart, and who are, quality humans in your life, as well as your animals, care for you. Let them just be there for you, and without thinking about how you're going to give back to them or pay them back or give any sort of sense of reciprocity at this moment. You can have those thoughts and feelings and just simply receive the help. Let's see what's happening with your action item here. Oof, very interesting. We have the Death card, and this is asking you to do exactly what I just said. This is doubling down on that message. You can let the anxieties arise, that's going to be just what it is, but give them a time limit. Maybe give them 15 minutes, 5 minutes. You can have those feelings bubble up, but then it's time to let them go. They need to die off. And there are parts of you that are also needing to die off. This overthinking part, as it relates specifically to your passions and your belief system. Maybe there's something in your belief system that has caused you to feel anxious. For example, in some religious traditions, there is an overemphasis on celibacy and abstinence. And maybe that's what's causing your anxiety, because you think that by acting or not acting in a certain way is going to end in the demise of your soul and your spirit. And perhaps it's time to release some of those beliefs. It's not a quick process, or an easy process, but it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out. If you decide in one instance, I'm just not going to believe that anymore. And then you can ask, like I was talking earlier about helpers along the way, you can ask the universe or God, spirit, etc., to provide those helpers to you. In the meantime, to ask them how it is that you can best move forward, and how you can release those beliefs, how you can redirect yourself on the true path. For some of you, that's a path of enlightenment. For some of you, it's just figuring out the best way to act on the day-to-day in daily life. Moving forward over to the west. This is our water element, our feelings and emotions. We've got 4 of Pentacles. So some of you, Aries, are harboring your feelings and hiding them away because you are afraid of what you might lose if you share your feelings. Some of you are also harboring away, some of you have feeling attachments to items, so physical items. So some of you are hoarding physical items, and that's because you have an emotional attachment to them. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to keep material items. That is not necessarily helpful for you. Having material items is a normal human experience, right? I'm not talking about basic everyday things. I'm talking about extreme hoarding, where you've got closets full of items that you can't even get into the closet. You might have rooms full of items where the entire floor is covered. You can't even walk in there. You could have an entire garage full of items. There's an emotional connection to hoarding of items, and I would invite you to explore the psychology and emotion that is connected to that, because that's going to help you get through the feeling of the need of having to maintain all of those physical items. For those of you that are hiding your emotions, some of you are hiding them just by not sharing, and some of you are hiding them by things like overeating and using food as a mechanism for emotional comfort. This is just asking you to look at those behaviors and why it is that you are either feeling stuck or unable to move forward emotionally. Let's see what your action item is here. King of Wands. This is so nice. King of Wands is asking us to really take charge of something. So in this case, it's taking charge of your emotions and taking charge of your feelings. If you are unable to do that by yourself, there are people around you that are able to help guide you. So that might be a pastor, a priest, some sort of religious leader, or spiritual community leader that's able to hold space for you. So it might be that you need to partake in a session of Reiki or any other sort of somatic healing, something that's going to help you along this journey. And with the assistance of another person. I'm also understanding here that this emotional baggage that you're hiding, this emotional self that you're hiding, is not entirely yours. For many of you, this is ancestral, including the physical hoarding of material items. So all of the things that we've just been talking about are not necessarily your fault. They could be something that was passed down ancestrally from generation to generation. Perhaps you have relatives, parents, grandparents, siblings, aunts and uncles, great-grandparents that lived through the Great Depression. This could be a continuance of that and a symptom of that. So really look at some of you need to go through ancestral healing, and you can either do that on your own or with the support of another, a spiritual guide or energy worker. such as myself, I'm able to do that. And I would love to work with those of you that are looking for that type of support. This is a huge opportunity to learn a new way of being, and to break those ancestral ties that are holding you back. Okay, Aries, let's see, what is your final card tying everything here together? 8 of Wands. We've got more Wands happening. So this is telling me that you've already done a lot of work on yourself, and now is a good moment to reap the benefits of that. So that means that you've already you've gathered people around you that genuinely care for your well-being and who are able to support you. You have your finances in order, you have things lined up and ready to go, you've got your resume ready. That's going to be different for each of you, but these are the types of things I'm talking about. This is showing me that you've already prepared. You've spent weeks, months, years, a long time preparing for this very moment. So even though there are things that you can improve in your life and ways that you can make your life better, that we were just discussing, you're in a pretty good spot. And there are messages coming to you at this time indicating how to manage different resources. So for example, maybe you have excess, you have abundance, and you're wanting to share that with others. So you might be looking for a charity or some sort of society to contribute financially towards. And in this time, you will find that right place, because the message is going to come to you. Be sure to watch the videos for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs to get a fuller picture of everything that's going on for you this month. Thank you so much. I wish you all a wonderful month, and I will see you again so soon. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.